Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Just realized my shirt is filthy. That is the least of our problems tonight. Let me get that. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It is STARJUMP Shipyard. Nice to see everybody tonight. I'm going to go ahead and warn everybody. It's going to be a mess tonight. It's going to be an absolute mess. Why is that, you may be asking? And the reason is I have a crazy amount of craziness happening with my job tonight. So this stream is going to have to be much shorter than I originally wanted it to be. It's probably only going to go for an hour tonight. But again, I appreciate you all showing up. You're all amazing, legendary people, and I can't thank you enough. You all showed up tonight. Already got about 90 on both Twitch and YouTube, so thank you very much for that. But it's going to be a shorter stream tonight. We do have a couple of giveaways. I'm going to go over those. It's going to be the main crux of our episode. We're going to go over with, some top of week things with CIG, mainly centered around Coramore and the Lunar New Year. And then might talk a little bit about the roadmap roundup, a few other little things. We might highlight an app that just came out as well. So again, this is going to be a bit of a short show, a bit of a mess. Okay, bit of a mess. Hopefully you all in chat don't mind a good, messy, grim show. So I apologize. Yes, VMXES says crazy after hours and VFX. I'm shocked. Yes, it's crazy after hours VFX work. And under a deadline that is just insane. And I'm working with artists, which is always challenging. And we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say about this job. That being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into some stuff. Our amazing sponsors. Going to do the quick version tonight. I'll make it up to the sponsors next episode. But as always, iconcity.com. Go there, use the code STARJUMP, get some Stream Deck icons for yourself. You can use them in many games, including Star Citizen. Pigeonspaceport.com. You can also use the STARJUMP code there to get a discount on their ABS injection molded Scorpius models that look badass. I do know they're making great production progress. So use the code STARJUMP. It's pigeonspaceport.com. And last but not least, Beam Eye Tracker, our newest sponsor. Make sure you go to Beam Eye Tracker and use the code STARJUMP. I have an affiliate link, actually, I'm going to post into chat. Use that affiliate link if you want to try out 3D head tracking in Star Citizen or any other game. Works really well. I'm doing a full review of that, so stay tuned for it. But that's our sponsors, the quick and dirty one. All right, here we go. Let's jump into the show. As always, everybody, do not forget we are doing an Ironclad. I can't say it, an Ironclad giveaway. If you want to get in on that and you haven't already, all you got to do is go to the link down in chat, the Gleam link. I think it posted earlier via the bot. Go there, multiple ways to enter, and just watch the streams. You get extra tickets, okay? The Ironclad giveaway will happen on May 31st during Invictus or DefenseCon, what do you want to call it? And we'll give that amazing, gorgeous ship away. It's a Drake ship, so it's going to be popular. So that is one giveaway we have going on. Go to the Gleam link for that. The next giveaway we have going on is the Argo Moth. We're giving that away tonight. You all have had about 5 days to get in on that via that Gleam link that I just pinned into chat. Multiple ways to enter. You have until about... Actually, let me check it. I probably should have checked it already, but I didn't. Stand by. You got about 1 hour to get in on that Moth giveaway. About 1 hour. So hurry up. Get in on it. Go to the Gleam link. All that kind of good stuff. And then last but not least, we have another cool giveaway, courtesy of our friends at CIG. In honor of the Lunar New Year, Year of the Rat, we are giving away a little package. Okay, we're giving away a little package. GRG Sentinel says it's showing 21 minutes left on the Moth giveaway. Thank you, GRG. Yeah, 21 minutes, everybody. Get in. But we have one more giveaway, and it is this nice little Lunar New Year package. And what does it include? Include some cool stuff. First thing you're going to get is an ATLS and the auspicious red paint. Okay, super cool, very awesome. Lots of industrial stuff going on right now, so you want to get in on that if you can. Want to try to win it, but you won't only just get that. You're going to get this really cool armor set, both with and without the Year of the Rat logos. You're also going to get this really cool piece of hanger flare, which I think is actually super cool. Year of the Rat lantern is what they call that. CIG generously provided that to give away as well. How do you get in on that? Well, it is super easy. All you got to do is, if you're on YouTube, is go to the link pinned to top of chat. Leave a comment there. That is my new player guide video. Leave a comment there. I'm going to pull a random winner from there. And if you're over on Twitch, all you got to do is do exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket space max to buy your tickets to get entered in to win this Year of the Rat giveaway. We'll pull the random winner from YouTube. We'll pull the Stream Elements winner. We're going to put you in the random wheel of names, spin it, and whoever wins will win that pack courtesy of CIG. So thank you very, very much. One more thing, everybody. Our good buddy STARJUMP Ender is struggling right now. Getting through life. Had a few downturns recently. If you want to donate to help Ender out of a tough time, he'll be gearing up for St. Jude here in the coming months to put his own time into charity work for sick kids. But if you want to get in on that, helping the boy out, helping out someone who helps other people, you can go to this coffee link right here. Feel free to donate to him, and I will make sure that money gets to our very own STARJUMP Ender. Thank you very much in advance for anything you can give. Do appreciate it. Okay. All right. Now, we got a little bit of time for our giveaways. Before we do the winners for the giveaways. So in the meantime, we're going to switch over to just some top of line news here. This week in Star Citizen came out. Again, everyone, don't forget this is only going to be about an hour-long episode at most tonight. But there is This Week in Star Citizen, of course. One interesting thing here to be excited about. Obviously, the Red Festival Year, the Rat, Lunar New Year, whatever you want to call it, did start started today actually. And actually I see a question in chat. Mr. Blarkin says, does winning the Red Fest eliminate you from the Moth giveaway? Nope, they're two separate giveaways. And then it says here, on Thursday, Star Citizen Live will return with a focused deep dive into industrial gameplay in non-combat professions. Thorsten, lead systems designer, and Elliot, lead mission designer, will join us to talk through the broader vision behind industrial systems, how they are progressing, and what is new with the industrial missions introduced in 4.6. I'm personally pretty excited about this. As many of you know, I am an industrial-focused player. What I hope this show is not just a sort of a, hey, we got some industrial missions in the game now. Hope you're enjoying them, all that kind of stuff. I hope they talk about the future of industrial missions. Probably we'll talk a lot about this Rockbreaker stuff. Triana, thank you for the stretch. I appreciate it. I'll stretch it out. Thank you very much for that. But I do hope they talk about the future of industrial missions and the larger vision there as we head towards Star Citizen 1.0. I don't know if it'll be that forward-looking, but I certainly hope it is. Sir Barbeta, thank you for the follow. Pigeon, Talks Live, thank you for those follows. Appreciate it. I probably missed a few follows, everyone. Zeffel. But yes, I hope we get some really interesting news from this. Art, what do you think? Our good buddy Art is here. He hasn't talked yet. Art, how are you?
I'm doing well, brother.
Thanks for the cheer.
We're going through it quick.
We are. We're going through it quick.
We're in hyper mode. I'm just watching the chaos. I'm actually watching all the ticket max spam.
Yeah. This is the quick and dirty. Everyone. So again, I appreciate everyone bearing with us tonight. Gearcon, thank you for those 100 bits. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, I mean, are you excited at all about industrial gameplay or hearing about it, or are you primarily focused on the combat stuff? Oh, and by the way, before you answer that, just so everyone knows, I am going to be eating during this episode, which I've heard a lot of people hate. But I'm going to do it because I don't have any other time to do it. So hopefully you all can bear with me a little bit. So Art, take it away. What are you hoping that we hear from the industrial panel?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is I do believe that when it comes to, as even though I'm like combat oriented, everything has to support each other. So I think having the industrial gameplay and making it interesting, making it that players want to do it, will help me as a combat player, not only being able to be loaned out for support missions, like being able to guard people while they're doing stuff, but also it's going to bring us into a better opportunity to better my combat by using those supplies.
Yeah. Well, to me, those things give everything else purpose, right? Those are, and that's why it's so important is to me, the industrial professions are sort of the engine that fuels the game. And to me, it's combat that then plugs into that, right? So combat and really all the professions are going to, in some way, plug into industrial gameplay. Because I look at industrial gameplay as the gathering of resources. So it's in a sense the gathering profession of Star Citizen, but it's also the crafting or export profession within Star Citizen, or the export loop. So it's both import and export, and there's going to be a lot of things that affect that, right? We've heard in the past from CIG things like, orgs doing blockades in certain systems would have effects on, commodities and other things like that. We've already seen events that have happened in the game over the past 16 months or so where, what do you call it? Commodity prices have been affected and stuff, and like raw materials and have had shortages, and some people bulk up on that. And, think about the fighting and the piracy around all that kind of stuff. So again, to me, the industrial gameplay loops, the in and out, the creating, the gathering, all that kind of stuff, that to me is like the meat and potatoes of this game, and gives things, gameplay loops such as combat, piracy, PvP, all that kind of stuff. It gives it meaning versus just going out and getting the kill, right? One of the reasons, for example, that I think I'm not too into PvP at the moment, because I do like PvP gameplay out there, but I think the reason I'm not focused on it right now is simply because there doesn't feel like there's a really a good enough reason to engage in PvP or just combat gameplay in general. It doesn't have to be PvP, it can be PvE, but it just doesn't seem like a good reason to engage in it other than like completing a bounty mission or a bunker clearing or going after a PvP target to say I killed them. But I'm hoping the industrial gameplay is what gives the rest of that meaning. We'll see. We'll see what Thorsten says. Again, it's always interesting when he comes on and talks. So that should be a good one. Again, that's coming out on Thursday. In addition, they talk about Eva Cotty getting another tech preview later this week, focused on inventory rework and crafting. Good to hear. The last tech previews of both of those were good. I don't think I got like a ton out of it, to be totally honest with you, because every time I tried to join those tech preview tests, there were already sort of issues in progress, so I didn't really get to try them out in any sort of tangible way. So I'm hoping this tech preview is a lot more dialed in so that we can get some good testing going, especially with crafting. Personally, I hope that they populate some blueprints in the crafting machine already and go ahead and give us some raw materials to start crafting with. With the short window that the tech previews are up, it does make it a little challenging to go out and get the required necessary raw materials to do heavy crafting testing. So I do hope that is something CIG will do. By the way, everyone, I should have said this earlier. I apologize, or maybe I did. The bot is not running. The reason it's not running is we're not going to have enough time tonight to do questions and answers. If I see a question that grabs my eye, I will call it out. But we're not doing like a full Q&A session like we typically do. I apologize about that. And then, of course, last but not least, it is Enter Atmosphere coming on Saturday out of Sydney. That is my time, at least. It's February 21st, 2026. I'm really looking forward to this event simply because there's usually some great racing that goes on, but also CIG people will be in attendance, and it's always fun to see the leaks that come out of those events because CIG personnel are talking. I think Sandy or Chris is going to be there. I'm not 100% sure. But again, it's always kind of fun whenever they have these, big Bar Citizen events or these big, cons that people put on or anything like this. It's always fun seeing the stuff that sort of gets leaked out. It's usually pretty good information. So Offset Studio says they both are going to be there. Sandy, Chris, and Tyler Whitkin or Xylo. That's awesome. Love hearing it. A hype train was just completed at level 1, everyone. Appreciate that. I should point out, everyone, that we are 55 followers away from a huge goal, 8,000 followers. So on Twitch. So 55 followers away from a pretty massive goal. All thanks to you all. Do appreciate it. If you're over on YouTube and you do have a Twitch account and you haven't followed us yet, please do. If you're on Twitch and you haven't been over to YouTube, please go over there and hit subscribe. Really appreciate it.
So how would you? So with this upcoming talk with Torsten and stuff on these missions, how would you like to see? What kind of mission would you like to see?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see. When it comes, first off, I'd like to see more evergreen content that is not event focused. I always like seeing mission content coming into the game that is going to be in the game, right? For the long haul, because that means we're getting more and more content building up to 1.0 to have a fully featured mission set and all that kind of stuff and gameplay loops. What I don't like are more like time limited events and those things. I think those are a little bit of a waste of time. CIG has been putting a lot of effort into can I lower? Is that art? Is art too loud? Art, do a test. Okay, let me pull it down. Do a sound test real quick, Art.
Doing a sound test really quick, Art.
Okay, I think I pulled you down. Sorry, everyone. I think we got it right now. But pretty much any time, evergreen permanent content comes into the game, I'm happy. So I want to see more of that. I would like to see, I am very interested in these Rockbreaker missions coming to Nyx, but I want to just hear how CIG is envisioning just propagation of industrial missions in the future. Right now we get these events and they're great. But how is all this tools and systems going for the what do they call it? The procedural generation of industrial missions based off certain things, right? So based off events that are going on, based off needs and usage and purchasing patterns of people playing the game. So if a lot of one commodity is selling, I would like a procedural mission centered around gathering that commodity to be popping up and the prices to reflect that. I would like to hear more about how CIG plans on bringing in a future marketplace for the industrial missions to tap into. Think auction house here, if you want to call it by another name. I also want to hear more about how CIG is looking at different industrial gameplay loops tying into each other, right? So refining. We obviously have station-based refining now, but I want to hear more about ship-based refining and how CIG looks at that functioning with mining ships, for example. Or, when we were at CitizenCon, what was it, a year or two ago, and CIG was talking about the base building ships, John Crew made that statement where when you go, I think it was John Crew, made that statement that goes, when you go out with one of these base building ships and you go out to build a base, they want you to be able to carry enough cargo or construction materials and stuff with you to build at least a building or two. But I want to look at, I'd like to know what CIG is considering that for industrial ships, right? So does a big let's say a big mining ship like the Arastra or the Orion, does CIG look at ships of a certain size getting refineries? How do they look at that tying into ship-based refining? Is there going to be a benefit to ship-based refining versus taking it back to the station? So just understanding how all the different industrial gameplay loops are going to link into each other. Again, a lot of that stuff's like 1.0 stuff, and I don't expect we'll hear about that. I think most of the conversation is going to be centered around the new industrial missions that just came into the game in 4.6 and the rock breaker thing. But I guess what I'm saying is I'm hoping we hear more 1.0 long-term plan stuff. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's been a while since they've talked about industrial stuff though. So I'm hoping we have a good informative show around that and not just like information on rock breaker, which is great, but we got a little bit of that. I would like to hear what that long-term vision is. So, let's see here. Let's switch over to Koramore. So there is a couple things with Koramore and the Lunar Year. Obviously, Koramore started, which is kind of the Love is in the Air event, or whatever they call it, the Valentine's Day event, whatever. And there is a referral bonus going on right now. A new recruit will receive the aerial armor with the red paint, the whatever they call that paint. I call it the red paint. But the aerial armor is one of my favorites in the game. It's actually probably the armor set that I wear the most. So that's a great set of armor for a new recruit. And the veteran player, upon getting the referral, will get the what do you call this piece of crap? The Consolidated Outland Hover Quad.
The hover quad.
I only call it that because I wreck every time I ride on it. So, yeah, the red alert paint. Thank you, Fast Cart. Yeah, the red alert paint on here on the armor, and then you get that Love Struck paint on the hover quad. So that is going on right now. If you have a friend who has a referral code or you have a referral code, get it out there, start spreading it around, and hopefully you can get your referral bonuses. We're doing good, by the way, on the referrals. Again, ever since we started, ever since I did the new player guide series, they've been doing pretty good. We're up to 23 now.
I was going to say, who else has a good referral code? Grim.
I do have a pretty decent one. You should use it if you want. I'm sure it'll pop up here in a second. Yeah, here it is right now. If you want to use it, feel free. But we're getting up there. And remember, if I get to 50, we will get the Misk Raptor and Fleet Viewer for sure. For sure. It may be something extra. We'll do a big giveaway or something. But yeah, trying to get to 50. But yes, that is the referral bonus going on right now. Try to get in on that if you are interested. All right. Now let's talk about the next thing. The Red Festival for 2956. Obviously, we have a giveaway tying into that. Thank you, CIG. Do appreciate you. But obviously, it is the year of the rat. We're celebrating the Red Festival. It always comes around this time of year, kind of celebrating the Chinese New Year. And there's some kind of cool stuff this year, actually. There's a couple events, obviously. There's the sort of Easter egg hunt in the what they call the red envelope hunt. You can find these in the verse. Make sure you do that. You can sell them and get credits for them, so definitely do that. There is a envelope stand, piece of hanger flare, if you're so interested. I think that looks pretty cool. I could see that being used for other things, but yeah, pretty cool. There is a community contest going on. Usually there is a community contest with this type of stuff. This one says, execute maneuvers on foot or aboard your most agile vehicle for a chance to win a Mirai Pulse or Anvil F8C Lightning. F8C is a pretty nice prize, actually. There is, of course, the red and gold, which is a nice combo, to be totally honest. Red and gold paints for the event. This year, obviously, themed around the Year of the Rat. So there's a little rat icon on there. But it looks like they have 4 offerings right now. They have the red, auspicious red armor set. They have the red and gold livery for the Mirai Pulse. One for the ATLS, which, again, we are giving away tonight. And then, of course, the F8C Lightning in the red and gold, which I have to say is pretty badass, and I may have to spring for it. Does look pretty nice. There is a Year of the Rat coin, which you can redeem via the website. So if you haven't done that and you want to get your Year of the Rat coin, make sure you go and do that, everybody. And then They have a Warbond CCU for the Anvil Carrack. Interesting, but we don't have a Year of the Rat paint for it. I think we have past year paints for it, though, if I'm not mistaken. I think we have years past paints. I can't remember. I didn't look it up, actually, before show either, so I'm not sure. And then, of course, some vehicles on offer. 100i, 400i, 600i. I think it's the Year of Origin, not the Year of the Rat. The ATLS goes without saying. The C8X Pisces Expedition. The Anvil Carrack. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is a red and gold paint for those. Yeah. And the old paints are available. Thank you, Wandering. I appreciate that. Constellation Andromeda. Cutlass Black. Cutter. F8C Lightning, of course. Nice chance to pick that up now. The Misk Fortune. The Consolidated Outland Nomad, the Mirai Pulse, the Saber, and the X1. So a nice little selection of ships if you are so interested. And again, a lot of the paints and stuff are on the store. I'll go to the pledge store here, and we'll go to paints. And they are here's all your Love Struck paints, again, for a variety of ships. I actually didn't know there was a Zeus one. But anyways, a lot of Love Struck paints here that are currently available if you like that color. And then, yep, here we are. We have the auspicious red paint set here for everything from the F8C, which I have to say I do like that paint for the F8C, the ATLS, and probably on the next page here, the Mirai Pulse. And then ships from years past. Those are the same ships you're seeing in those ships that are currently on offer. Okay, so the 100, the Cuddy, the Black, the 600i, all that kind of good stuff. And I think the Carrack, yep, there's the Carrack. So now's the time if you're trying to complete your auspicious red paint collection. Now's the time. Now's the time. So I do like that when they offer these up now, they're doing all the previous ones too. I think that's really nice. Do
you think that's an attempt to cut down on the gray market sales?
You know, I think to some degree, but I think it's less about cutting that back on the gray market sales and more about maximizing profit via CIG. And I know they kind of it's kind of saying the same thing for sure, but I think CIG is probably more looking at it through the lens of we can be earning this money, not the gray market. But they haven't really had a problem with the gray market. You know what I mean? I think CIG is aware that the gray market exists. Nothing you're going to do about that. It exists. Every game like this deals with this thing. So I think they've been well accepting of that up to this point. I think for them, it's just come down to why are we leaving money on the table? You know what I mean? They're not trying to put down the gray market like by sending them letters or strongly worded letters or anything, but by making these things available, obviously you are sort of eating into the gray market, right? So
right.
Take that for what it is. But yeah, I think, definitely for the people wanting these paints, this is a good thing because obviously you can get it for the, essentially, I guess what you call cost, versus the gray market markup, right? So, by the way, everyone, shout out to everyone showing up tonight. Nice amount of people tonight. 193 over on Twitch. The Twitch people showing up tonight. 150 over on YouTube. Do appreciate it. Again, remember everybody, we have 2 giveaways going tonight. We have the Moth giveaway, courtesy of CIG. Thank you, CIG. Get in on that via that Gleam link. And if you need that Gleam link again,
I think it's closed out.
Oh, it closed. All right, closed. We're going to do that giveaway. Stand by. It did close. Hopefully you got in on it. I think you all did. And then, of course, we have the other giveaway from CIG, which is through exclamation ticket if you're on the Twitch side of things. And if you're over on YouTube, there's a link pinned to the top of the chat that'll take you to my new player guide. Leave a comment there. Leave a random comment. It can be hi, hello, how are you? I'm going to pull a random comment from there. And I'm going to pull the Stream Elements winner. We're going to put you in the random wheel of names like we always do. We're going to spin it. As Base Truther says, Grimm's Giveaways brings all the boys to the yard. And that is true. That's true. It's how we do it. Thank you, CIG. CIG's kicking doors down with supporting through giveaways. But anyways, CIG sent me this one today. This will be for an ATLS with the auspicious red paint. And you will also get the hanger flare Year of the Rat Lantern display, which I actually think is one of the coolest pieces of hanger flare I've seen. So that's awesome. And then the armor set, which comes with the Year of the Rat logo and one without, which is super cool because I don't really like the logo. So I think that's pretty badass. So again, that's what I'm giving away tonight. Get in on that while you can. Do appreciate it. And I see our good buddy Ender is in chat. As I said at the beginning of the stream, everybody, Ender is going through tough times. If you want to support the boy through kind of a tough real-life transition that he's currently dealing with, make sure to support him. Here's my coffee link. You can send money there, and I'll make sure Ender receives that along with who donated. I'm sure he'll reach out to you with a thank you. And here, you've already gotten my big thank you. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. So yeah, Coramore, Year of the Rat, all happening kind of together here. We're heading towards March, which we've heard is 4.7. We know the stuff probably coming with 4.7. One of the big things I hope that comes with 4.7 is more ships supporting LAMP, because I swear to God, every ship I get into, LAMP does not work in it. I swear to God, every ship I get into, I hit Alt L thinking that LAMP is going to work, and it's not in there.
So what you're saying is you picked all the wrong ships.
Apparently, I've got all the wrong ships. I will, some people say I white knight sometimes, but I'm going to go ahead and hit CIG with a criticism real quick. CIG gave a lot of the small ships LAMP to start, and I actually think small ships weren't the issue. It was the big ships that needed LAMP first. You know what I mean? The big ships. They're the hardest to land in the dark, damn it. Okay. That's what we needed that first. We needed that first. Hey, Execute. Hope you're doing well. Execute from Info Runners in chat. Execute, you didn't miss much, man. It's a quick show for me tonight. Not even doing any Q&A tonight. It's a quick one. Doing some giveaways that I've had piled up. I've got work absolutely killing me this week with an emergency delivery. So it's going to be a super short show. We've only got about another 20 minutes left of the show. But the Moth giveaway is over. And just so everyone knows, Execute loves the Moth. The Moth was the ship he's always wanted. You've heard it here first, folks. The Moth is the ship Execute. It's his favorite ship, even more so than the Reclaimer now. Okay, I said it, which means it's true. Okay, let's talk about the Moth for a second. I saw an interesting Spectrum post pop up, and CIG did respond to it. As a matter of fact, let me see if I have that handy. I probably don't, but let me see if I do. But essentially the post was in regards to, someone made a post on CIG essentially saying, why was the Moth released in the state it's in? Essentially, the Moth released with a bunch of issues.
Execute's in the waiting room.
Okay, Execute is in the waiting room. I'll bring you in just a second. Let me find that real quick, though. Let's see here. We did have some audience questions. Okay, you can bring them down. I can't find it, but I can ask Execute because this will be a good segue into this, and then we're going to do the Moth giveaway.
I was about to say, you fucking betray me, man. You fucking betray.
All right, so let me ask you this. So Sir Barbata says in chat, he says, Sergeant Graham, what do you think about releasing ships without end user testing? I've said this before, and I actually got quite a bit of pushback on it. I'll be honest with you. What I said was that one negative about no more concept ships is that we sort of lose some of that community vetting that happens. Now, I'll be the first to say ships should not be in concept for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But for like a 1 year concept period, I'm okay with that. I feel like it gets conversation going. It allows the community to sort of vet the idea a little bit so that when the ship does go into production, maybe CIG will absorb some of that and act on it. I feel like the straight to flight ready ships that are coming out now, I feel like we do lose a little bit of that vetting. Now, I know specifically, Barbetta, you said testing, end user testing, but I would agree with that too. We don't see these ships hit Evocati or anything like that because CIG doesn't want to ruin the surprise. And I do think it is problematic. I guess I would throw that over to you, Execute, since you just joined in. What is your thoughts on these ships and the way they come in now, really not getting any testing? I would say the only ships that get testing nowadays are the ships that come in during Invictus or IAE.
So I think there's two parts to it. There's the past where we've got things like a Star Lancer Max, and I got kind of yelled at when I said it was crap. But over time, more and more people have come back to me and said, yeah, you were right. There are issues with that ship. But now I'm also seeing positive things going forward, like Ben, when he was talking about how he learned about the Perseus and then he went back and applied things to the Polaris. So I think they're learning to talk to certain people. And, so...
Can we turn Execute up a bit, Grim?
Yep. Go ahead.
If we're going to like a cargo ship or something like that, you want to go talk to people in the community, like a long haul trucker or a logistics person, so you can basically get feedback about those ships. But I also think now a lot of the feedback is moving to after it's come out. So are they making a little bit more? That's the concern that you're addressing, really, Grim, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're going to take the feedback on board now after it comes out. So is that making more work going back to do rework, or are they going to show signs of that they're really going to go out and get feedback before they do these things? And that's the concern, obviously, isn't it? Which way is it going to go?
I mean, you brought up the Star Lancer Max, and and I'll fully admit this, and I have no problem admitting it. When the Star Lancer Max came out, I just threw the money down. You know what I mean? It was almost instant. Here's the wallet. I loved it. I went on and on about loving it. And then I used it. And I used it intensely during an event. I forget which event it was. It was one of the ones in this past year. And then the flaws started coming out. You know what I mean? And quickly, and again, it's not to knock on the Star Lancer. If you like the Star Lancer and it does what you do, what you love, perfect. But for how I played the game, I really saw that I should not have bought the ship. Now, luckily, I was able to melt it and can put that towards something else. Yeah. But that's going into what you were saying, where a ship looked good on paper, it looks good on the sale page, but you don't get that end user testing. So, for example, with the Star Lancer series, I do wonder if some of that testing could have helped with some of the cargo spindle access and stuff on the bottom side, or even if it's not end user testing, then more focused in CIG testing. And part of me wonders, when CIG tests a ship, this would be a question I have for them. It's not a criticism, it's just a general curiosity. When CIG tests a ship, do they have a list of things and they go, okay, I'm taking off. Do I turn the lights? Okay, thrusters work, VTOL works, so it can fly. Okay, the MFD works, all that stuff. Or is it what I would hope it is, which is all of that and someone saying, okay, I'm going to take this out and go do the actual gameplay loop with it for a solid week. I'm going to mine. I'm going to move cargo on it. I'm going to, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I remember them saying things like when the Perseus came out, we finally actually got in and did multi-crew testing.
They did, right.
With it as a ship. And it's like, wait, you never did that with all the ships before? Like, what? Like, what? And so I think they are fundamentally learning as they go along. But I am finally seeing things that I thought they would have been doing way back in the beginning. They are now starting to do, like getting feedback and stuff like that. I think they are slowly learning how to make ships, that they're not ship designers, they're game developers, right? So they're now learning how you've got to, they've probably brought in some industry people and got some feedback and stuff like that. But they are probably seeing the benefits. Like, I could sit here and give you 30 examples of how this is done, right? Like the the Star Lancer. Another one would be the Hercules.
Yeah.
I remember talking about the tier list when that first came out. I sat there and had an argument with C6 and Astropub for almost 3 hours. And I said, as soon as another ship comes out that does transport or vehicles, this thing is done. Yeah. And you look at the game now, 5-6 years later, I've been proven right. And they've come back to me and both said, yeah, you were right. I just look at things on paper and I try to look at it from... It's a weird ability, right? And I know other people can do this, but not everyone can, is to put yourself in other people's shoes and try to apply it from as many different angles as possible. Yeah. That's how I come to generalized advice. It's the only way I can do it, right? Because I can look at a ship and see why I hate it. And if you see my review of the Moth, right, I say all the reasons why I don't like it, but I literally can sit there and look at the ship independently and also go, but it's a great ship. It is a great ship. In a vacuum, on its own, it is a fantastic ship.
Right.
And that's how I look at ships. I've got to be able to separate myself from things. And I'm not the only one that can do that. I know there are a few other people that can do that. And in hindsight, you go out and you look at the reviewers out there, you find out who can do that and who can't. But
yeah,
what I'm getting to, I'm getting to is there is no perfect ship.
That's true.
You have to look at them objectively, and I don't think there's a single ship you can sit down and basically say this thing is perfect, right? And you and I have gone through almost every ship in the game many times over. We've done this. I don't think there is a perfect ship, and it's just like in real life. Yeah. No matter what things we build in real life, they have a flaw. It's a part of the flavor of that ship, right? So even if you take something like the Starlancer that I said was horrible, there's going to be someone that loves that. Warts and all.
Yeah. Hey, Avenger Unknown. Appreciate you, bud. Thank you for showing up and hanging out. Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. Look, I'll even say this. I mean, you can take a ship that everyone knows is my favorite ship. It's not in game, of course, but my favorite ship, the Drake Kraken. The Drake Kraken will have a flaw or two. It has to, right? Again, just like you said, no ship can be perfect. And especially it won't be perfect for every player, right? And and that's all well and good. With the Moth, kind of circling back to the Moth did release with a lot of tech issues. So there's issues in design, and sometimes those things can just be frustrating or limiting. But maybe CIG by design still wanted that, and that could be something, for example, like the entryway to the Hermes, or a ramp width limit or something on a ship. Something that like CIG obviously did. They could have went around it, but they did it a certain way.
There's one on the Moth like that actually that Algrid found. So when you got the cargo bay down, the two thrusters at the back actually block bigger cargo crates going on from the back, so you can only load bigger cargo crates from the front. But then if you think about it, you actually need to push it right to the back, otherwise you can't get up the elevator properly, or you got to use the other elevator. It's just some really weird things that.
And I guess to some degree, you could refer to that type of stuff as like personality quirks of a ship, right? Sometimes those personality quirks are actually specific to manufacturers or what have you. With the Moth, so every ship has that stuff. The Moth also released with just a ton of things that were broken, that didn't work. In my initial testing, the scraping was almost useless. You couldn't scrape anything.
Here's another interesting way to look at it. You've got the mole that was version 1. This is version 2, right? And now imagine there's a third one, right? And if you look into how science works and alliteration, they usually say it takes about 3 versions to get really close to perfect, right? So because the gameplay changes though from the Moth to the mole, they made a whole bunch of new problems with the Moth, right? But the thing is though, generally speaking, if you look at the general features that don't affect the gameplay, everything on that ship from one to the next is an improvement. The closed cabs, the extra cargo space, the extra cargo lift at the back, like even inside looks a lot nicer.
I actually think the Mole was a ship I did not like. The Moth I'm actually enjoying quite a bit. I can see those quirks though that you're referring to. I can see them. For me, sometimes a ship is worth it You could ignore the quirks because it's worth it for various reasons. It could just be a ship you love, or it could be really useful at what it does, even though it's got this one thing that's annoying about it. And then there's some ships that you just cannot get around it. It just fundamentally negatively affects what you try to do with the ship. That was the case with the Starlancer for me. With the Moth, I still got to figure out if it's going to be a ship I love or hate. I like it for what it is. I got to see if those little quirks build up to resentment. So I don't know yet.
I still think there's future things as well. Like, do they put cutting lasers on, say, one or two of the heads down? The you have there's 3 heads. So do they put cutting lasers to cut up ships? Because we know that they've got to be made smaller so you can fracture them and stuff like that. Do they use the missile launcher on top to fracture ships?
Yeah.
Much like the blast charges on the Vulture. So I've only got things that they've talked about in the past to look at, but there's all these disconnected things that they've never talked about, right? And so you've got to kind of look at the progression of, say, something from a Vulture to a Reclaimer and kind of see what they give and take away as they go up towards the Reclaimer. And I think fundamentally, if you watched my review, I don't know if you did or not.
I did.
I still think the Reclaimer is going to be where it's at. It just doesn't make any sense. You're talking $100 more. There's only one crew member more, and the ship grows by 6 times.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got to look at the economics of it. It's not rocket science. I'm not a genius. I'm just looking at what's on the paper.
Yeah.
But going back to the original thing here with the testing and all that other stuff, they said that they wanted to release it because they don't want it to get leaked out. Of course, it still gets leaked out a day or two before, anyways.
Yeah.
Do you think that matters? Because here's the thing: is if you're going to buy the ship, you're going to buy the ship. I mean, you said so yourself. If you're interested in the ship, you like the way it looks, you're going to buy it. I think sell it later.
I think leaks help the game.
Yeah, well, I do too in a lot of ways. Like, look what happened with the Perseus, man. I actually feel somewhat responsible for how much they sold of that thing, because during the time I was on SC Leaks and we pimped the shit out of that ship.
Yeah,
right? What I'm saying is,
it all the time.
They trolled that in a trailer.
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying with that is, do you think that honestly, if they had just tested the Moth and it would come out in a better state, do you think they would have sold more? Even though, they had PTU testers and everything else testers, I think it would have done better, and we wouldn't have had to. Well, what we're going to have to do now is wait till a future patch for a fix on a ship.
Yeah. I don't think it's one thing, mate. I think it's multiple things. I think it's the fact that it's a copy of another ship. I think the fact that there's a Reclaimer that's way older in game and it's been around for a lot longer. And if I've got a $400 Reclaimer and this is, around $300, why would I want to downgrade when I've already got the better ship? Things like that.
Another thing too, I think when we're talking about player testing is one thing for sure. I think my thinking is actually more around CIG testing. I would actually love for a deeper dive on that with CIG, and I don't think it needs to be an Inside Star Citizen. I would love for one of the QC people, and they've got a hard job, no doubt. This isn't to put anything on them; it's a hard job. They're QCing a lot of stuff in an alpha live game, but I would love a deep dive specifically from them on Spectrum or something that shows their process for testing ships, specifically ships from like Perseus onward. And what I mean by that is, are all ships getting that Perseus level testing, or is it only certain ships? And then what is that testing? Like how does a ship go through QC? And I'm sure it's not as simple as just like, oh, we take it out for a week and try it. I'm sure it's an involved process with a lot of back and forth. It'd be nice to hear what that is. I mean, look, here's the thing. There's going to be ships that slip through the gate that have got broken problems on, or broken parts and pieces on release. It's going to happen. But
the other way to look at this is, have they ever not gone back and fixed a serious issue? They have every single time.
Yeah, they do. And that's why it's good not to overreact either.
I think they've just taken it on the chin and they've gone, right, this is just going to be a part of our process now. And we're just going to have to try and do our best. And if it's shit, we fix it in post. And I know that kind of sounds sucky, but when they don't have like a lot of QA people, that's probably the best way for them to go about it. Go ahead.
But can you see them then? So, for example, the differences between the Mole and the Moth, right? And you argued that the Moth is an improvement in some form or fashion, correct?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
so do you see them actually going back and selling us a Mole Mark II with upgrade with these?
No,
with this
no.
moth?
Well, that's one of the
I mean,
things
I
brought
hope
up
they
in my
don't,
review.
but
This is what I said. It was multifaceted. This thing was clearly pushed out very quickly as well,
Yeah.
because all those changes didn't get put onto the Mole, right?
Yeah.
And that's happened with previous ships. So to try and keep up this pace of releasing ships at a certain speed, they are cutting certain corners, and I think they've gone, well, instead of just applying what's here straight from the Moth to the Mole, we'll just concentrate on the Moth, and the next time we come back to the Mole and we work on mining, well, then we'll upgrade that on its own.
And it's an interesting one, because a lot of times, and we've seen it with other ships, a lot of times we've seen CIG, whenever the new variant's coming out, they go back to the other one. We're expecting some of that with the Ironclad, for example. We're expecting some of that stuff to come over to the Caterpillar, the command module, maybe a couple other improvements, maybe not, but we sort of expect that. We didn't get that with this one, and that could mean a few things. It also could mean, like, another bit of reasoning for that could be that they also may just be really busy with new ships this year, and just the Moth was, or the Mole was just not high enough up on the priority list to reopen and deal with.
And there's other questions there too, like how long would it take them to get someone else to come back and just quickly flick those things over to the Mole? Is that someone can do that as an onboarding project or something? Sorry, go ahead.
Is the Mole considered gold standard? I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, I don't think it would be. Not now. Not just we're looking at the Moth. No, it's not.
Well, no, but I mean, like physicalized components. I mean, their original gold standard that they had talked about previously did the Mole hit that mark? Does it have physicalized components?
Sure, actually.
Does it have?
It has mostly physicalized components, but no ship has all the components, because now they got the radar and the batteries.
Alistair says Mole is nowhere near. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: there's weird little oversights on the Moth too. For example, it shocks me, for example, that the component bays aren't labeled. On the ship's got labeling and decaling all throughout, but they didn't put any labeling or decaling on the actual component bays, which are the only thing you should need labeling for, really.
So the Mole doesn't have engineering in it either. So
technically, the Moth has moved its engineering up to that middle, what was the sorting room on the Mole, which is now, I guess, the refinery room. Would you call it that? I guess there's an engineering panels on the back of the stairs there, so it feels like engineering is almost like an afterthought on the Moth compared to having a whole dedicated room to it in the Mole. So it's really interesting. So it also shows how that's evolved. Are they gonna? Is the reason why the Mole hasn't been touched? Are they going to literally go back to the Mole and change that entire bottom room to be an elevator? Are they going to put the engineer room up where the sorting room is now? There's some massive questions there. So is that why it hasn't been touched? Because you could, like, the time to take what's been done to the Moth over to the Mole it's bigger than it appears, because you've got to do an internal rework now, not just a few little fixes. It's not just the little light switches moving over, it's complete rooms.
Speaking of the Moth, now that we've really hyped it up,
it's time to do a giveaway.
It's time to do a giveaway, everyone, because I don't have much longer left. Here we go. We're going to do our giveaway. Obviously, the Moth giveaway is through Gleam, courtesy of CIG. The entry is closed now, so you can't enter it. You still can get in on the ATLS and the red auspicious pack giveaway, so do exclamation ticket if you're on Twitch, or if you're over on YouTube, go to the link pinned to the top of chat, put a comment on that video. I'll pull both of you and put you in the random wheel of names. But let's focus on the Moth giveaway now. I'm going to draw that winner now. I don't trust Gleam's ability to dox people, so I'm going to draw it off screen and then we'll announce it again. The nice thing with Gleam is I can draw the winner and I'll automatically reach out to the people via email.
What skin do they get if they win it?
They're getting, I think it's you know what? That's a great question. Let me pull up here. Let's go.
No. What skin are you buying from the store?
I think it comes with some. I think it comes with that. I don't need to.
No. Yeah, I know it comes with a Love Struck paint, but what one are you buying to give them?
You know what?
You should be giving them an extra one. You should be going that extra mile for your viewers.
I'm glad you asked. I'm doing the Moth, and I'm going to buy a Love Struck paint with it.
No, it comes.
I thought. And I'm going to give you. Execute was just volunteering to help fund your since he wants to be a guest host.
We'll see. We'll see. And I'll throw in lifetime insurance, and I'll go ahead and open the wallet and pitch for a Star Citizen digital download.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I'm gonna do it.
What a swell guy.
He'll throw in his empty wallet in there too.
Yeah. So here we go, everybody. I'm going to draw. I wish you all luck, of course. And we have a winner. And the winner is... It's thinking. Oh my goodness. The winner is actually someone I know. It is...
Art. Oh, well done. No, right.
It's unfortunately not Art. It's unfortunately not Art.
I have a strict rule of not putting in for giveaways.
I'm same too.
I know. He's a stand-up guy. He doesn't enter. The winner was Plastic Techno. I'm not gonna say the name. Plastic Techno. You know who you are. I'm gonna be contacting you. I have learned a new lesson though. I have learned a new lesson as I pull a backup winner if the main winner doesn't claim the prize.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yep.
I have to do that. Yeah,
So I'm going to pull the backup winner now.
Learning from the master there.
Which I have done.
Oh, wait, no, me and Grim swap ideas. That's how
true.
it all works. We share stuff all the time. The Wheel of Names, I've taught him things about the Wheel of Names, things like that.
That's true. That's true.
Just goes back and forward, helping each other out. That's tit for tat.
But Plastic Techno, thank you very, very much for entering. Everyone, thank you for entering. Don't forget, though, the Ironclad giveaway is still going on. We'll give that away on DefenseCon. That's not too far away, folks. Just a couple months. And that's going to be a monster ship. I do think it's going to be one of the best cargo ships to come into the game, personally. It's also a Drake ship. What's not to love? But yes, thank you, everyone, for entering the Moth giveaway.
Can we set up an episode? Like, I know you and I were talking today about a kit bash thing, but I've got an idea for an episode around the Ironclad.
Okay.
Like taking the Ironclad and turning it into another profession. Like, what could they do if they did a variant? Would you be interested in doing that with me? Just
yeah, that might be fun. That might be fun. I might get into that. Okay.
Pencil it in.
Pencil that in. For the Ironclad giveaway, I think someone was asking. All you got to do is go to the Gleam link, pin to or paste it right down in chat. I just pasted it. Go to that Gleam link. Several free ways to enter, or you can also scan that QR code. Okay, we have another giveaway. We're going to go ahead and get to that one too. But before I do that, I wanted to shout something out. Community out there always makes cool projects. If I can talk here. The community makes tons of cool projects out there, from Urkel to Fleet Yards to there's so many great ones. Obviously, we make a tool with STARJUMP Fleet Viewer and Hanger Link. Another guy came out and CIG posted it on their This Week in Star Citizen. They kind of promoted a bit. It's a website called Battle Stations. Pretty cool. Still very much in development. Allows you to select a ship. And with selecting that ship, you can actually select roles, assign crew members, all that kind of good stuff. It has a lot of customization features. I have not dug into it completely, but I love the concept, love where they're taking it. Osiris, the maker of it, is using STARJUMP Fleet Viewer images, and he very lovely, you can't see it in the screen here, it's down below, but he did shout us out and link to us. Do appreciate that. Again, if this is something you want to check out, again, I always like highlighting new Star Citizen community tools. There is the link if you want to check it out. Really cool project. Again, I love this type of stuff. Hopefully, when CIG kind of gets to that 1.0 state and they can turn in and focus on these type of experiences, whether it's a mobile app or any sort of addition, bigger, larger web hanger sort of presence. That's going to be really cool. In the meantime, though, we have all these really cool community tools, and I hope you will support them. Okay.
I'm actually a little bit freaked out because I'm sitting here looking at this, and I actually know another org, and they've built a tool that's that, and then beyond that.
There you go.
We were working on that as well. On our end.
Yeah. So I think they're going to be really surprised how low level that is compared to what I've seen. And if you guys are doing it, it's probably going to be even bigger.
We've played with the idea before. We've had ideas, and different orgs, different community groups. They build tools for their needs, obviously. So some tools have more on offer, some have less. But at the end of the day, It's always cool to see new community tools. All right, I'm going to pull up here a couple things so we can do this next giveaway. And again, exclamation ticket if you're on Twitch, or if you're on YouTube, go to the link pinned to the top of chat. And here's how we do these giveaways. The stream elements, exclamation ticket people, I'm going to pull you in just a minute. We do have 189 entrants, 1,719 tickets purchased. So get in on that while you can. And then over on the YouTube thing, we use YouTube Random Comment Picker. Here is the video you all had the link to that I said you need to leave a comment on. We started to stream tonight at 6:30 on the dot. And so we're going to pick up any comment left after 6:30, okay? And we're going to pick that random comment now. And well, actually in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the shark is hunting. Shark is hunting. I hate this box that pops up now. Sand Groper, our boy Sand Groper. He's got a Easter egg.
Redraw. No, I got to redraw that one. That's rigged. That's rigged.
No, can't do it. Rigged. Sand Groper's name's got to go in the wheel of names. Sand Groper.
Rigged.
Sand Groper, congratulations.
Redraw.
Sand Groper. Good. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. All right, next. Stream elements.
Like good dudes. Yeah, sure.
All right, everybody. Exclamation ticket. Now is your last chance. Got about 5 seconds. Good luck. Good luck. All right, we're closing the giveaway in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Giveaway's closed. Going to draw a winner. Oh my gosh, it's Kavotha. Two long time StarJump people. How cool is that?
Instead of putting on the wheel of the names, you should get them to get in the game and they're going to fight to the death, like PvP style.
That would be cool, an in-game thing. 2 long-time StarJump peeps. Now, remember, Sand Groper, Kavotha, if whichever one of you wins, you will need to reach out to me, and then I will gift this to you a little bit later this evening. I want to shoot a big shout-out to the folks over at CIG for providing this and the Moth giveaway. Do appreciate that. The Ironclad is from me, though. That is not from CIG. That's from me. Damn it. But these other giveaways do want to shout out the team over at CIG for hooking us up. All right, we're going to do the random wheel of names. Congratulations and good luck to the 2 semifinalists.
Yeah, all the best, Kavotha. Yeah,
all right, who's placing bets? Who's placing bets? Now's the time to place bets, everyone.
I think when we pull up the wheel of name, we need an animated picture of Execute. Dancing,
we probably do.
In like a
I need to get on that.
Hula skirt.
That's what I did with mine, but it was Agrid or Disco Lando. That's what
Yeah, I need to get on that.
You just put the Grim with the eyebrows in the middle of the circle. Right in the middle.
Yeah, I need to get on that. I really do. Okay, here we go, everybody. Gonna spin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Oh my gosh. That was brutal. Kavotha.
Oh, what a shame! Woohoo!
Kavotha pulling it out. Salute to you, Kavotha. Sand Groper, you know we love you. That was pretty epic.
Bitch.
That was pretty epic. Again, Kavotha, you won courtesy of CIG, the ATLS, and the auspicious red rat paint, whatever you want to call it. And you also, well, I don't have it up anymore. You win the armor and the hanger flare. So it's a nice little package there. Congratulations. And then I will contact our winner, Plastic, on Gleam for the Moth giveaway. If he doesn't win, I will award it to the runner-up. And as always, everybody, with the Gleam giveaways, for transparency's sake, because I don't want to dox people by showing the winner page, for transparency's sake, whoever wins, I always do a big announcement on all of our socials, linking to that person or in any way, and asking them to share cool pictures of them enjoying their new ships. So, again,
you should just give a skin of the ship to Sand Groper to inspire him to go out and buy it himself.
That's an idea. That's an idea.
Or you could buy him like one of those.
You're so kind, Execute.
He's got all kinds of ideas.
To buy this stuff for us. He's such a swell guy.
He's got all kinds of.
I do buy these things for people.
Yeah, he does. That's true. True. I do have one other announcement. I do know people are eagerly awaiting the Hermes and the Moth in STARJUMP Fleet Viewer. The Hermes is finished. We just have not deployed it yet, and the Moth is in production. We'll probably wait till the Moth is finished and then deploy them both at the same time. But they are coming. We haven't forgotten about them. There were some changes in how some of the code is structured. I won't go much further than that because I don't know. That's just what I was told. And there was some changes in how the code was structured that is actually creating a few little challenges on the assembly part, but again, we're actively working on that. I know VMXEO's in chat. Everyone give VMXEO a big old giant 07 for always trudging through that stuff and getting it done. He is a legend. So sorry this is a short stream, everybody, but Execute, where can people find you?
I just in front of us. Don't worry about me. Look, what ship are you expecting next?
What ship am I expecting next? I am thinking, did I say thinking? Thinking that we're going to get, it's a good question.
Yeah, I'm with Chat, by the way. Chat's on the same page as me.
Hull B. I'm thinking Hull B as well, actually, because it's in Lot 0, right?
And I was saying to Grim, he's not connecting the dots with the messages I clearly sent him, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Is in
Let me pull
chat,
this up here.
Sorry, in leaks, there are skins out for multiple events, but the one event that's missing is St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. So I actually think that we're getting the whole B because all that content for St. Patrick's Day is locked.
Yeah.
I think it's all coming at St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Conveniently while I'm away in the Philippines. So
and I will say
you guys do a good job reviewing it while I'm away.
And you can see everyone up here that the Hull B was in Lot 0 last update we have. We know the mystery salvager is the Moth. Another ship we could see very, very soon is the gold standard to the Hammerhead. No, that's not a new ship, but that was finishing up its downstream work, so it's very, very possible. They also could bring that out at Invictus, obviously. It makes a lot of sense, military ship. So be on the lookout for those.
What do you reckon the chances are of a variant or a second ship based around the Hammerhead are?
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Or I wouldn't mind seeing is maybe some Hammerhead kits too. That could be kind of interesting. But yeah, a variant of the Hammerhead would be interesting. I do hope the Hammerhead gets some buffs though. The Hammerhead is a bit weak.
It just was on the list for a new ship, and we haven't, seen a. I'm trying to think of the last 8. Just one. It would have been the Saber variants, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That image is not on my Discord, I don't believe, but I can send it to you if you want it. I'm going to update it every time we get a PU monthly report. But yes, everyone, I've got to run. Thank you, Execute, for hanging out. Art, everyone, thank you for supporting Ender. Do appreciate that. Again, if you want to help support the boy through a tough time, very easy. All you need to do is donate to the coffee link you just see posted in chat there, the STARJUMP Gremlin, and I'll forward any and all money to him and who donated it so he can thank you. It's been awesome hanging out. Again, I do apologize for the short one. This is an absolutely hell on earth week for me work-wise, but you all really came out, had a ton of people. We didn't have any raids, and we still had a ton of people watching the show, so I do appreciate that. I'm going to be doing a raid on Twitch here. I'm going to raid Dark Hour. So when you go over there, he's only got 7 viewers. So when you go over there, show him some love, show him some STARJUMP love, hit that 07. Do appreciate it. Everybody, have a great night. It's been awesome to see you. Stay tuned later this week. I'll do another stream when we have some of this industrial ISC or Star Citizen Live news. So everyone, have a great night. Starting the raid. We're going to do our 10-second countdown. Execute. Art, appreciate you coming on and hyping the Moth up, because we all know it's Execute's favorite ship and has now replaced the Reclaimer. Everyone, 100%. Have a great night. Love you. Appreciate you. Salute.